What's up, everyone? It's Bones here. In my last video, we were saving cats from trees with Rescue Ace, but in today's video, we'll be showing off what happens when the cat decides to say meow. Before I start, if you're a fan of in-depth combo videos and learning about new sets, then consider pouncing on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons. You don't have to worry since unlike Nor, the like and subscribe buttons won't bite and you can actually touch them. To start, we'll use the Lily in order to get ourselves the search for the friend, and the friend will give us access into the sleepy memory, and I do want to use this first combo in order to show off what the new card is, as you can really go into any Purrely Exceed that you want to, as we're now going to go into the Nor via the Purrely Lily, and the Nor is the first new card, and it takes 2 level 2 monsters. Once per turn you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, or up to 2 instead. If this card has Purrely Sleepy Memory as material, return them to the hand. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely Quick Play spell Quick Effect, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material. Then you can set 1 Purrely trap directly from your deck, and the really cool thing about this is the fact that you're able to get the set of the trap on board so that it's easier to get into your Nor and stuff like that, at least the bigger Nor, while also potentially getting you into more draws via the Sleepy Memory and stuff like that, as we're going to attach the Sleepy Memory. And then the second thing that I would like to point out is that on our opponent's standby phase, when we do get the draw off of Sleepy Memory, if you keep Nor on board for whatever reason, that draw can potentially be your discard for its interruption effect. Now for the second combo, we have Sleepy Memory plus any discard, and we'll use the Sleepy Memory in order to get ourselves the Lily. We can then use the Lily in order to get ourselves the friend. We'll activate the friend on main phase 1, as we'll then be able to reveal 3, add ourselves either a Sleepy Memory or a Delicious. It doesn't really matter since we'll be able to do the play anyways. The Sleepy just gets us an extra draw, but we'll then activate the Lily to go into our little Nor, and then we can activate the Delicious Memory, and this will give us the ability to use the Nor's effect so that we can set our leap and attach the Delicious onto it, so that we're ready for our opponent's turn when we're able to get our draws with the Sleepy Memory, as we'll then also be able to use the leap at any point of the turn. If you want the extra draw, you can do it here on the standby phase, but if you want the disruption off of the little Nor, you can wait until they're actually proceeding with their turn, and then on their main phase or battle phase, whenever you want to use it, you can just jump up into your big Nor. For this next combo, we have Sleepy Memory plus any discard and street, so Purrely is just any discard, and we're going to bring out our Lily. We can then use the Lily's effect in order to net ourselves a search for the friend. We'll then go to the main phase where we'll activate the friend, use the friend's effect in order to net ourselves a search either for a Sleepy or Delicious, and then we'll be able to use the Lily in order to go into the little Nor, as we'll then be able to activate the Delicious as we attach the Sleepy onto the little Nor. We'll activate the Nor in order to get ourselves the leap and attach the Delicious. Then we'll be able to protect the Nor as we'll activate the street, move on to the end phase where we'll be able to get that extra attach of the Sleepy Memory. And this is really cool because we're able to get the 2 draws off of the Nor, and even though we don't get draw 6 like we used to, we do have a very easy way now to get into our 5 material Nor, and we still do get 4 draws on our opponent's standby phase, which can really be anything. And just having this towers with the recurability of stuff like street, the friend, can be really hard to play around. For this next combo, we'll be starting with the Sleepy Memory. You'll see that we also have the Pretty and the Happy. If you're going first, you'll discard the Happy. If you're going second, you'll discard the Pretty. But we're then going to bring out our Lily, as we'll then be able to use the effect of the Lily in order to get ourselves the friend. We'll go to the main phase where we can activate the friend. Now we can use the friend in order to net ourselves a search. I do play 3 copies of street, so the street is guaranteed, and I'll explain why later. But we're going to activate the field spell now, use the effect of the Lily in order to get into the Nor so that we can attach the Sleepy as well. We'll activate the Pretty Memory, as we'll also be able to attach that into the Nor. And the reason I said that you want to save the Happy Memory in hand if you're going second is because you don't have to go into the Nor. You can actually just go into your Happy by activating the Happy and then attaching it onto the Happiness off of the Lily's effect. Now as we set the leap, we're also able to go into the end phase, as we'll gain the life points here, use the street in order to get ourselves that extra attach, and much like last turn, we have the ability to get our 4 draws, as we also have the leap set in order to make our play to go into the 5 material Nor. Nor that's unaffected and just gives you the 2 extra draws during your opponent's standby phase. Now this is a second iteration of the previous combo, as before we started with the street, and now this is just a way to get it to hand, as you're going to be able to get the friend to hand and then activate the friend so that you can get yourself into the street. And from here, because we have the Sleepy in the graveyard, we can end up using the effect of the Lily in order to go into our Nor, and now we can activate the Happiness so that we can attach it to the Nor and then get our next new card, the Purrely. And this one reads, target 1 Purrely Exceed monster you control, special summon 1 level 1 Purrely monster from your deck, but negate its effects. And if you do, special summon from your extra deck 1 Purrely Exceed monster with the same rank as the targeted monster but a different attribute by using the summon monster as material. This is treated as an Exceed summon. Then you can apply this effect. Attach the Exceed summon monster as material 1 card from your deck with the same name as the Purrely quick play spell attached to the targeted monster, meaning the targeted monster is whatever is attached to this. We're then going to go on to our opponent's end phase, or we're going to go on to our end phase where we'll use the street in order to attach a card, and we'll go on to our opponent's turn where we'll be able to get ourselves the draw with the Nor. And then the cool thing that you can do here is get easy access into your Plump or your Beauty or whatever you want to go into, as we're going to go into our Plump since it's a different attribute than the Nor. And now we can attach the Sleepy memory or the Pretty memory onto it, giving it 3 materials so that if we do take anything from either graveyard, we can potentially get up to 5 materials on it for a potential Nor. Now do keep in mind this relies on having more cards like Leap, which is why there is a debate on whether this will be played or not. But with that, I'll take you on to the next combo. We again have the 3 quick play spells, and I just want to show a different iteration of the last combo, as we're now going to use the effect of the Lily in order to get ourselves the friend. We'll then go into the main phase where we'll activate the friend, use its effect revealing 3, as we'll be able to get ourselves a copy of Purrely, and then we'll normal summon the Purrely, use its effect in order to reveal 3. We're just going to hit the street, but it's just considered a whiff for this combo since I won't use the street at all. But we're going to then go into the Plump as we'll attach the Delicious onto it, use the effect of the Lily in order to make our Beauty. And this is just another end board that you can make if you don't want to tunnel vision into the Nor. And it's also kind of important to know, especially when you're playing around different matchups, because one thing with Purrely is you want to know all your secondary effects. You want to know how your interruptions interact with your opponent and just little things like that. Now for the penultimate combo, before I get onto the test hand, and we'll be starting with another set of 3 quick plays as we'll activate the Pretty memory, and this one does not have Sleepy memory as you can see. We'll then go into our Lily as we'll be able to use the Lily's effect, getting ourselves the friend. We'll move on to the main phase where we can activate the friend. Then we'll use the friend in order to reveal our 3 Sleepy memory, as we can add ourselves the Sleepy memory to hand so that we can then use the Lily and get access into our Nor. Now we can use the Delicious memory so that we can use the Nor so that we can attach the Delicious memory onto it while getting the Leap. Now we can use the effect of the Delicious memory, getting the protection, as we'll then go on to the opponent's turn where we can activate Nor so that we can get the draws, as we'll also be able to go into the Leap so that you can go into the bigger Nor. And again, you can save this for a later part in their turn. I'm just showing you can, but this is just another draw that we can get. Now for the test hand, you'll see I opened a bunch of hand traps with 1 quick play spell and Lily, and that's perfectly fine because Lily is combo, though it does hurt if you get interrupted. That being said, the quick play spell does help you play through that. As we're going to activate the friend, we can now use the friend's effect in order to net ourselves a search for the Sleepy. We'll then activate the Sleepy, and at this point you could choose to bring out the Purrely if you would like to, potentially get yourself another search and stuff like that. But because I don't want to leave it to chance and I want to make the most of what I have without discarding any hand traps, I'm actually going to go into the Nor off of the Lily so that we have a disruption off the bat with its draw, as we can also activate the Happy memory attaching it, getting ourselves the Leap, and then we can protect our Happy memory or the My Friend as we'll go on to our opponent's turn and then use the Nor in order to net ourselves a draw, which happens to get us follow up. We can then use the Leap at any point of our opponent's turn. If you want the extra draw, you'll use the Nor now in order to get that extra draw. And with that, I'll take you on to the deck. So with all of the combos out of the way, the first thing I would like to point out is the 3 leap and the 3 street. You also see that the Purrely is in the side. There is an argument to make this a 2-in-1 ratio, and that would also be perfectly fine if you do want to play more versatile boards where you're able to make your plump and your beauty a little bit more often. You'll also see that I am on an exceed heavy based extra deck, and even though that does leave us weaker to shifter, I just like it because of Kashtira Unicorn. I would also like to talk about the reasoning behind the 3 leaps or the 3 traps and the 3 street, being that I want the deck to be able to make the Nor and have as much materials as possible on whatever exceed you make, really, so that you can get the main thing of your deck rolling. On top of that, I want to be able to draw into hand traps, which is why you see that there's no imperm or talents or stuff like that. I just decided to max out on whatever hand trap could be the most relevant for this format. The Drolls I do think will be good. There is a lot of stuff like Rescue Ace coming out that happens to search a lot. Dark Worlds are getting their new card, and I will be doing a video on that next, but I would also like to talk about the Bell and the Ash, which could be good against stuff like Unchained, Labyrinth especially. Then there's other things like Valor, which I feel if you don't play Imperm because of the Sleepy Memory reason, then Valor is the next best choice. You could potentially play Kurikara, and talking about Kurikara, that's another thing that could come back into the format if this deck does get any traction, because as you saw in the combos, it's not very hard to do to get into your Nor, which could also bring back stuff like the Santa Claus so that your Happy Memory doesn't get stopped by an opponent's bigger monster, or just so that they can get over yours. Outside of that, I think if you're going to play the deck, you want to remember all these secondary and minor effects that these cards have, because if you're just relying on special summoning out from the deck, you're not going to get very far. You have to know the interactions and when you want to protect yourself, because the Sleepy Memory, for example, can protect you from battle or effect damage, and that can come up. The same thing with the gaining the 1000 life points. You can protect yourself from death this way. Happy Memory can allow you to protect yourself from destruction by card effect, and little things like that. There's also the Beauty, which has the additional effect to change the battle position of a monster your opponent controls. The Plump being able to banish a monster on the field until the end phase, and of course you have stuff like your Nor that has the ability to set one of your trap cards. Lastly, I would like to talk about the Prosperity, and even though we do play the max amount of our quick play spells and the field spell and whatnot, I do want the ability to get into my combo pieces as much as possible. Sometimes just being able to excavate into an extra spell is also really nice because it just helps you play through stuff. And as you see, because we are on this exceed heavy based extra deck, we do have the space to just remove stuff from play with the Prosperity. So with all of that out of the way, I'll take you on to the card by card, as we have the 3 Friend, the 3 Happy, the 3 Pretty, the 3 Sleepy, the 1 Delicious, the 3 Street, the 3 Purrely, the 3 Lily, the 3 Prosperity, the 2 or 3 Leap, the 1 Purely Shirley if you decide to play this, the 3 Valor, the 3 Droll, the 3 Ghost Bells, the 3 Ash Blossoms. Onto the extra deck, we have the 2 Zeus, we have the Downward Magician, the Assembled Nightingale, the Assemble Robin, the 2 Plump, the 2 Beauty, the 2 Happiness, the 2 Nor, and the 2 bigger Nor to round out the deck profile. Some last things I would like to touch up on here are things like the Moon and Azalea, which can be options for you to play as Link 2s for removal. This just helps play around stuff like Rivalry. Then you have the Lingariba for the Ibli. You have Link 1s that you can make because your Lily and your Purrely are both level 1s. And then you just have your options in regards to engines that you can play. I don't like the idea of playing them just because of the bricks they bring into the deck, and that's why I am on the 3 Street and the 3 Purrely traps. I just want to be able to get into my exceeds as stated earlier and play the strategy as centered around it as I can. So for everyone who's made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching, and for the 500+ subscribers. I truly appreciate your support. We've monetized the channel, giving us access to supers and memberships, which means that more awesome stuff is on the horizon. To get the channel membership, just click below the description, and there will be a link that takes you there. You'll also notice a free Discord link that I've made for us too. If you want to support me as a content creator, even if you can't donate supers or get a membership for the channel, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons help a lot too. For those wondering, I do plan on making updates to the channel as the support on the channel grows, but anyways, I hope to see you on the next one. It's Bones, signing out.